A Pacific superstorm is forming. Waves reach 50 feet, winds push past 70 knots, and in the middle of it all sits a 100,000-ton aircraft carrier, with dozens of $80 million fighter jets parked on its deck. One violent roll could send billions of dollars sliding into the ocean. Yet aircraft carriers sail through storms like this every year without losing jets. So what secret systems and procedures keep them safe? Let's find out. Extreme storms are one of the most dangerous natural threats to an aircraft carrier. In severe weather, winds can exceed 70 knots, about 80 miles per hour, and waves can rise above 50 feet, creating enormous pressure on the ship and everything on its deck. A modern carrier, like the USS Gerald R. Ford, stretches about 1,092 feet long and carries a flight deck covering nearly 4.5 acres. That huge flat surface becomes highly exposed when powerful winds and waves hit the ship. The biggest concern during storms is aircraft safety. Fighter jets such as the F/A-18 Super Hornet, which can weigh over 66,000 pounds when fully loaded, sit on an open steel deck. Without proper securing procedures, powerful winds or sudden ship movements could push aircraft across the deck, risking collisions or even sending jets into the ocean. History proves how dangerous storms can be. During Typhoon Cobra in December 1944, the US Navy lost 3 destroyers and nearly 800 sailors due to extreme weather in the Pacific. The disaster forced the Navy to dramatically improve weather forecasting and storm procedures for ships and carriers. Today, modern carriers rarely suffer such losses, but that's only because they are built differently from the start. So first, let's look at the massive engineering that keeps carriers stable. Aircraft carriers are designed from the ground up to survive the harshest ocean conditions on Earth. The Ford-class aircraft carrier displaces about 100,000 tons, making it one of the heaviest warships ever built. This enormous weight actually helps stability. The deeper a ship sits in the water, the harder it is for waves to throw it off balance. The carrier's width also plays a major role. The Ford class has a beam of about 256 feet across the flight deck, which spreads the ship's weight and reduces dangerous rolling during storms. Another key advantage is advanced navigation and weather tracking. The US Navy operates dedicated fleet weather centers that monitor global weather patterns using satellites, radar systems, and ocean sensors. According to the US Naval Meteorology and Oceanography Command, these teams can track storms days before they reach carrier strike groups. Because of this, carriers often change course hundreds of miles to avoid the worst part of a storm. But even the most stable ship cannot protect aircraft by design alone. Which brings us to the chains and systems securing jets. On an aircraft carrier, every jet parked on the flight deck must be locked down before rough weather arrives. A fighter like the F/A-18EF Super Hornet weighs about 32,000 pounds empty and over 66,000 pounds when fully loaded. When winds from a storm reach 60 to 80 knots, that much weight can still move if the aircraft is not secured properly. That is why carrier crews rely on a system called deck tie-downs. The flight deck has hundreds of steel tie-down points welded directly into the ship's structure. Sailors attach heavy-duty chains and tensioners from the aircraft's landing gear to these points. Each chain is built to withstand over 10,000 pounds of tension, meaning one aircraft may be held in place by more than 100,000 pounds of total holding force. Deck crews also fold wings on aircraft like the Super Hornet, reducing wind resistance and saving space on the deck. Then there's another way when carriers move their aircraft to a safer place. When meteorologists warn of a major storm, the safest place for aircraft is not the flight deck. It is the hangar deck inside the carrier. This massive internal space runs nearly the entire length of the ship and acts like a protected aircraft garage. For example, a Nimitz-class aircraft carrier can carry around 60 aircraft in its air wing, including F/A-18 fighters, EA-18G electronic warfare jets, and helicopters. Many of these can be moved below deck when severe weather approaches. Carriers use powerful aircraft elevators to move jets between the flight deck and the hangar. Each elevator can lift 90,000 pounds, enough to carry a fully loaded fighter jet. The Ford class improved this system even further with advanced electromagnetic elevators designed to move aircraft faster and more efficiently. Once inside the hangar, aircraft are secured again using tie-down chains attached to deck fittings. The hangar protects jets from direct wind, heavy rain, and massive waves, which can sometimes crash over the flight deck during storms. Next comes the carrier's powerful weapons systems. An aircraft carrier is also a heavily armed warship. Even a small loose object on a pitching deck can become dangerous when waves are over 40 to 50 feet high. One of the main defensive weapons on US aircraft carriers is the Phalanx close-in weapon system. This automated 20mm Gatling gun is designed to destroy incoming anti-ship missiles. According to the US Navy, carriers typically carry 2 or 3 Phalanx systems, each weighing over 13,000 pounds. Another key system is the RIM-116 Rolling Airframe Missile Launcher. Each launcher can hold 21 missiles capable of intercepting threats traveling at supersonic speeds. These launchers are mounted permanently on the ship and locked into safe mode during heavy seas to prevent accidental damage. Furthermore, a carrier deck also holds tractors, fuel carts, tow bars, and maintenance equipment. All of these vehicles are secured with steel chains attached to hundreds of tie-down points built into the deck. Now, when weapons are secured on deck, then comes the crew. Behind every aircraft carrier is a massive team working constantly to keep the ship safe during storms. Around 5,000 personnel, including sailors, pilots, engineers, and aircrew. When severe weather approaches, the crew immediately begins detailed storm preparation procedures. One of the first steps is securing all aircraft. Deck crews, known as the yellow shirts and blue shirts, attach multiple heavy chains to every jet. Next, the crew clears the flight deck. Support vehicles and maintenance equipment are chained down or moved below deck. Meanwhile, the ship's navigation team adjusts speed and direction. Carriers often turn directly into the waves and maintain speeds of 25 to 30 knots to reduce rolling and maintain stability. These procedures are practiced regularly during training exercises. One of the best real-world examples of it comes from the US Navy's forward-deployed carrier, USS Ronald Reagan, operating in the Western Pacific. The region regularly faces typhoons with winds above 50 knots and waves exceeding 40 to 50 feet. In 2018, the carrier strike group encountered a powerful storm while operating near Japan. Instead of trying to outrun the weather, the ship used a combination of storm navigation procedures and aircraft protection protocols. Before the storm intensified, deck crews secured aircraft using multiple tie-down chains attached to reinforced deck fittings. Many aircraft were also moved into the massive hangar deck, located beneath the 4.5-acre flight deck, protected from wind and waves. Despite harsh conditions, the carrier reported no aircraft losses or major equipment damage, proving how effective these procedures are. Every jet on that deck represents millions of dollars and years of training. Yet through smart engineering, powerful systems, and disciplined crews, these floating air bases can survive some of the harshest weather on Earth. But here's something I'm curious about. Do you think operating aircraft carriers in extreme storms is worth the risk? Send us what you think in the comments section below.